YouTube. Today is going to be the 49th day of sleeping on the floor. When the video goes up, it'll be day 51. Last few days have been pretty much the same, so I don't imagine something dramatic will happen in 2 days. So, sleeping on the floor, how did I come to this decision? Well, I was watching a video on the internet, and it talked about how Bruce Lee, he was filming Fists of Fury. I think that's the one. It's the one where like he punches a guy, and then the guy goes through the wall, but it's like a perfect outline of his body. It's supposed to be kind of like I don't know, a little bit like a comedy. That was kind of the director's vision at the time. But they were filming on location. I think it might have been Malaysia. I'm not sure. But Bruce and his crew stayed at a hotel, and he requested the manager to please remove the bed from his room because he slept on the floor apparently. And that was a result of his back injury that he got doing the good morning exercise at his body weight of 135, but he didn't warm up. And I believe he tore his fourth sacrum nerve as a result, and he was bedridden for many months until he practically rehabilitated himself. And it must have been a good program because I think after that he actually filmed Enter the Dragon, which arguably is his best movie. So, sleeping on the floor, I thought about that. I looked it up a little bit, and it seems that it's supposed to reset your spinal position correctly, right? If you look at your spine, it's not supposed to be vertically straight. That's actually really bad, right? Your spine just kind of, your neck's here, the spine comes down, and then maybe out a little bit, and then back in, and then out a bit. That's how it's supposed to be. That's the correct position for the spine. Now, when it comes to sleeping on the floor, people sleep in different positions, of course. Some people can sleep on their back perfectly. Some people need to sleep on their stomach. Some people got to sleep on the side. For me, I'm actually more of a back sleeper. I tend to do very well with that. I never slept on the stomach, and I have accidentally slept on the side. I'll always wake up with a really bad shoulder pain type of thing. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is, have I slept on the floor before? I have actually, a couple times, very one-off situations. I think the first time it was in college. I was in college, and my roommate and we stayed over at a friend's dorm room. We had our own dorm room, but we just decided to sleep over at his dorm room, and we slept on the floor. It was no problem, no big deal. And then after that, the next time I would do it is I went to a student teaching leadership forum. It's like a pay it forward tour, and I think that entire trip, where it's like we drove down to different cities and stuff for college for spring break, I think. And I think the whole time, we were sleeping on the floor the whole time, and again, that was no big deal. And then after that, the next time would have been I was with my youngest brother. No, younger brother, not youngest. Younger brother. He was in an arts school, and I just stayed with him for a little bit while he was still in school. So he slept on his bed, and then I just slept under his bed. And again, there was no problem. After that, nope, never slept on the bed again until these past few weeks. Now, doing online research, the first question that comes in are of course going to be pros and cons. Because there's going to be both in this situation, and it kind of depends on the individual. For my interpretation, a pro for me is that when I wake up from sleeping on the floor, there's really no reason to loiter. It's difficult to loiter. I wake up and it's like I need to go do something. Because when I'm on a bed and you wake up, it's easy to loiter, right? You're on a bed, you just take out your phone, and then you just waste time for an hour. But I can't do that on the floor. Not to say that it's uncomfortable. It's just neutral. There's no reason to lay down on the floor, right? It's time to get up, and, I feel like I have to get up and do something. Another pro is that for some people, it can relieve back pain. Now, I tend to think that's more to do with anterior pelvic tilt, if that's an issue for you. I know some people don't have an issue with that. I think that pain comes from that, honestly. But if you're still getting back pain, then I guess this could be something you could look into as well. Another pro is that it's very easy to transfer. As you can imagine, when you move to a new house or another apartment, moving a bed is quite a project. You know, you look at the steel slats or wooden slats, how heavy they are, awkward heavy. That's pretty big deal, right? But if you just have a sleeping bag and you just roll it up and you're ready to go and go anywhere, it's very convenient, very simple, not difficult to carry. Of course, you have more room if you have a small room like I do. Than not having a bed take up majority of the space. You have more room to put more stuff. Now, for the cons is that by being on a lower level, when it's cold, it's going to be really cold. Now, in the summer, that's nice, but in the winter, especially South Dakota and Minnesota winter, very, very cold. But don't worry.
I have this.
Now that, I don't know, I call it a Snuggie. That's what my brother calls it. He actually bought it for me because he bought himself one before Minnesota winter hit. And he was like, yeah, here you go. He got me one too. And honestly, that thing is good. That thing's really good. Other than like my lower half body being cold, my upper body was never cold. Sometimes I would even sweat. So if you can find one of those, yo, that's highly recommended. Now, another con is that some people report that they actually get back pain. Now, I would test this. Okay, I would test this. If you get back pain, wait 5 days. Okay, wait 5 days. The reason I say that is because if you get back pain, right, I think it's more of like you're using muscles that you've never used before. So naturally, it's going to be uncomfortable, right? It's just like when you go to the gym. You go to the gym and you do bicep curls, right? You do your bicep curls and they hurt because you don't do bicep curls. You never use your bicep except when you're eating food, and and that's not even enough, right? So it's not like your bicep hurts and you go, well, I'm gonna go to the gym again. No, right? Obviously, you still go, and I think it's the same here. Okay, is your back gonna hurt the first day or the third day or fifth day? Probably. I don't doubt it. Probably, yeah, sure. But it's probably because you're using muscles you never used, and naturally, it takes time to adjust. Now, going through the days themselves, days 1 through 8 were varying in experience. It was kind of bad, kind of good, kind of switched. I know on the first day, my glutes were killing me. It was terrible. I woke up in the middle of the night like my glutes are killing me. I don't know why. It would wake me up. And then by the second night, my glutes still hurt, but not as much. So that's kind of going back to that con where I was saying, well, yeah, maybe my glutes hurt because you use that when you sleep on the floor. And obviously, I hadn't slept on the floor for years. So then it hurts for those first 2 days. But after that, never again. My glutes have never hurt. It's perfectly normal. I think it adjusted to it. Day 3 was actually the worst sleep. I couldn't stay asleep. I was waking every 2 hours, like back when I was on caffeine. So that wasn't a good day, but I still stuck with it. Now, the fourth day was neutral, wasn't good or bad. The fifth day was bad again, couldn't stay asleep. Now, sixth day was neutral. Seventh day was actually good, like actually good. Out of the whole 6 days, this seventh day sleep was actually really good sleep. And I stayed asleep for quite a while, almost like 5 hours, because usually I wake up every 4 hours. That one was 5 hours. That was good. And then on day 8, it came back to neutral again. Now, day 9 to 13, I think my body kind of settled, and that was all smooth sailing. It was good sleep, and I stayed asleep for a long time as well. That's probably the best few days of sleep I had. Now, on day 14 and 15, I actually couldn't sleep on a bed because I went to SmackDown with my friend, and yeah, I didn't want to be weird, so I just slept on the bed. Ironically, on the first night, I did get lower back pain back, but I'll be honest, I think that came more from, like I mentioned, how you will feel pain when you start sleeping on the floor because you're using muscles you're not using. So I think it's the same when you sleep on the bed. I think you're using separate muscles whether you sleep on the floor or you sleep on the bed. So when you transition, I think that's why you'll hear people say, I slept on the bed and then it hurt. I slept on the floor and it hurt. I went back and it hurt. I think that's why, is because you're using different muscles, and so you basically just have to choose. You have to choose which one you want, basically. Now, the second day of SmackDown, sleeping on the bed, actually there was no problem. It was neutral. Nothing good or bad. Now, on day 16, going back to sleeping on the floor, I actually got pretty bad right shoulder pain. I don't remember, but I think I probably just slept on it. Day 17 and 23 was also good sleep with a twist. I started waking up way too early, like consistently. It was 4 a.m. every day. Day 24 and 25, it went back to bad sleep. Uh, couldn't stay asleep. I was waking up every 2 hours again. Day 26 and 27 became neutral sleep. It wasn't good or bad. Day 28 was good sleep. Of course, I woke up early. Day 29 was bad sleep. I couldn't stay asleep. Day 30 to 32, I went back to good sleep, waking up early, of course. Day 33 was neutral sleep. Day 34 to 37 were also good sleep and waking up early. Now, day 38 and 39 is interesting. I actually got low back pain again. On day 40, I got bad sleep and I still had lower back pain. And at this point, I thought, okay, I need to try something different because I wasn't going to give up. And I thought, okay, well, a lot of sites say that you should actually have a pillow under your knees to set the spine in the correct position, and then have something light under your neck that will also help set the spine in position. So at this point, I actually implemented both of those. Just a regular towel under the neck and then a pillow under my knees. Ironically, on day 40, I got good sleep, woke up early, and no back pain. And in fact, I would continue all the way up to right now. It's been the same. Good sleep, waking up early, no back pain at all. Now, a final consideration you might say is, can't you just do all of this with a extra firm mattress? Yes, yes, actually, I think you can. You can just do all of that with an extra firm mattress. As long as you put a pillow under the knees and maybe like a towel under the neck. Yeah, it's pretty much the same benefits, I would say. Granted, though, I will say, no matter how extra firm the mattress is, you got to admit that as the months and years go by, you're still going to sink into it, right? I mean, it's just, natural. When you're laying on the floor, the floor doesn't sink, right? It's always going to be, there. Um, so, yes, you can do the same thing on a mattress, but I would say after a couple of years, it's still going to let you, it's still going to let you sink down, and it may not be as effective, meaning that you'd have to replace it anyways. Also, another thing to consider is that I mentioned the loitering. It's very easy to loiter on a comfy mattress, but it's very difficult to do so on the floor. Every time I would try to loiter on the floor, I would just be on the phone for like 5 minutes and be like, I can't do this, I gotta get up. But I know in all my years beforehand, I can lay in bed and, sit there, waste time for hours on end. Well, that's all I have for sleeping on the floor. Um, I honestly don't really see myself changing this. I'm gonna keep doing this forever. Yeah, I'm kind of like a, get used to it kind of a guy, but I just like the fact that I just get up early. I don't like getting up at 4 a.m. though. I don't like that, but I like that I can just get up early. I get up and be like, okay, I gotta go. Go to work, do this, do that. You know, um, I know sleeping on the mattress, I'll just lay there and just do nothing. It's very hard to do nothing sleeping on the floor. Um, I mean, I wouldn't classify myself as a minimalist, but I really like that. It doesn't take a lot of room and it's not that hard to set up, and I can go anywhere I want. It's no problem at all. So, what do you guys think? Are you gonna try this or not? Like I said, when you start, I think you're gonna get sore muscles. I don't doubt that, but it's just you adapting to whatever muscles you're going to use, whether it's sleeping on the floor or sleeping on a mattress. Um, that's kind of up to you, but I can tell you, I'm not changing. I'm staying with this forever. So, hope this video is interesting for you guys. You're always welcome to like, comment, subscribe. My manager told me to say that. Other than that, you guys take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.